G'day, punters. Welcome to a cracking edition of All In, where we are covering off Derby Day and Golden Eagle Day. Dino, thanks for joining us, mate. How are you?
Good, Gano, mate. How are you going?
Mate, I'm doing really well. Cracking weekend of racing just passed. Cox Plate Day. It was pretty good, mate. Did you back any winners?
It was a tough weekend. I think the punters got the chocolates on Everest Day, but I think, like racing does a lot of the time, it brings you back your earth. As soon as you think you're going too good, it levels you. And I had one of those days where just a couple of things didn't go my way, but we bounced back. There's more races than I've had baked dinners this weekend. So cracking edition to jump on All In. And there's plenty of value to be found in these markets.
Absolutely, mate. Look forward to it. Mate, let's start off. We'll go to Flemington. Obviously, Derby Day is probably one of the pinnacle days in racing for mine. Mate, Flemington rail true. Some showers about 10 to 20 mils, but drains pretty well down there. I think those showers are around maybe Wednesday and Thursday. For mine, I think that the track will probably could come up a soft 5, but that's probably, we'll see a pretty fair track if we're seeing that soft 5 mark. What are your thoughts there, mate?
Yeah, I agree with you there. It's always a fair track there. And like you said, it's probably the best draining track in Australia. So it doesn't matter too much about the rain. I think we'll get back to a pretty dry surface. I think just a note for punters, I like to sort of back those horses drawn out in those straight races towards the outside rail, but do monitor through the day. But I think we can all expect just a fair track. And like you said, around that soft 5 range and probably get an update throughout the day.
Yeah, I went through some, just for people, anyone looking for some clarification, I went through some historical data. I think the last time we got around that heavy range at Flemington had been raining for about 4 or 5 days prior, and even in the month prior to that. So I don't think we'll be getting anywhere near a heavy range. Buckley's of that. More likely a soft 5 could potentially just be good for, and we just waste our time. But, mate, let's move straight to the Derby. Gunstock 320 being well back. These odds are courtesy of the TAB. Gunstock 320, Forgot You 350. Hitotsu, is it? $8. Allegron 9 and Tutaka 11. Mate, anything catch your eye there?
No, I think the top 2 in the market are pretty well found here. Forgot You comes off that brilliant win last week. Can he sustain another big run like that? He hits that flat spot, but up to 2,500 metres. And then Gunstock, we all saw the brilliant win last start. And I think the market's got it pretty much well on. There's no real value for me. What do you see there, mate?
Mate, Forgot You. I thought it was absolutely going to be absolute moral on Saturday. Obviously, it won. Didn't win how you'd think it would win. I'm off it. I won't go near it. I wouldn't back it with stolen money. So that leaves Gunstock at the top there. But obviously we had that all in play early on with Zoom on at $61. Now hear me out here. He did win a benchmark 70 at Maui, but it's a bit hard to draw a line. You know, we're talking 3-year-olds here. The reality is if they can stay the distance and they got a good heart, they're going to be thereabouts. So for mine, it's still around that $26 mark. It will improve significantly from that Maui run. I don't know. I've never been to Maui. I wouldn't know where it is, but the feeding department, it's nothing like Flemington, right? And it was a heavy track. So it's by Zoostar. So I reckon a dry surface. It's got the world's biggest stride. It's got a longer stride than you when you bloody break through the first line of defense, mate. Out in front, Bossy, produce a bit of a So You Think ride. It'll give a huge rock hard fit, as long as they don't destroy it, as long as they don't get down there. And I think the Victorians destroyed a Adrian Bott Gay Waterhouse trained horse a couple of years back. So as long as this is not that hard in the market, so I reckon I'll let it go out in front. It's going to give you a huge sight. But yeah, Gunstock definitely, mate. We move on to the Coolmore. I know you got a couple of thoughts on that one. I'll just bring up the odds here. I'm half asleep at the wheel, buddy. Mates, we have Extreme Warrior 450, Artorias $6, in the Congo $6, Polili. That was running last Friday night, $8, Home Affairs 11. Interesting one here, Kalos, 2 starts back at a Hawkesbury maiden, $11.
Yeah, interesting race. It's probably, I'm not sure about you, Gano, but myself, I've grown up. This is probably one of my favourite races of the year. 3-year-olds, they're always good clash, and especially down the Flemington Straight. Exciting stud prospects. You get your best colts normally and geldings going around in this. The fillies have a good record in it as well, so it's a very even match. I found one at odds, and I think can run very well. And I don't think there should be such a gap between the horse that you mentioned, Polili, and this horse, Overpass. They both come through the Roman Console. just go back and look at that replay. Overpass hits the line very, very well. Runs the fastest last 600, 33.30, last 400, 22.26, and last 200, 10.98 of that race. And do note, punters, they went pretty slow in that. They ran around 3 lengths slower than the average to the 600. So I think that run was huge. Come from a long way back. I think the Flemington Straight will help this horse. Straight line speed. We saw that with his sectionals late, around that $26 price. I don't think there should be such a big gap between him and Palili. He brings that Sydney form. I think he's a bit of an underdog here. I think the negative is probably his SP profile, SP 51's last start compared to Paleli 250. So I'm guessing that's what the pricing's off. But I think at big odds, I think he can run very, very well here. And it was nice to see Bjorn bypass the Brian Crowley last week and send him straight down there. That tells me he's got a very big opinion of this horse. So a nice early play for punters there. I've taken the $26, and I think that's a very, very nice play in a wide open race. It's an outstanding addition, but that's the way I'm playing it. Gano, how did you see it?
Mate, I think the form I said the wheel of the book is here. In the Congo, was $8. It's $6 now. It'll start favourite for mine. There you go. Beat Animo. Yeah. Obviously, there was a bit of bias that day at Rose Hill over the 1,400 metres. But a Rose Hill 1,400 metres not far off of Flemington 1,200 metres, if we're being serious here. Easiest 1,400 metres in the history of the world around Rose Hill. Mate, $8 into $6s, been freshened. It's been a target the whole time. Body and Gay will have it ready to go. Huge sight. I just thought $8 was too much. It's now $6. $6 is, I'd still happily take that. Obviously, barriers are going to play a huge part. If it can draw outside and get where it needs to be, then fantastic. But that's for me, mate, in the Congo. Mate, the Cantelar. Bit of an early play here, mate. We'll start off with the odds, though. We'll go Mr. Brightside, $4, Cascadian 8, Superstorm 8, Arameo 11. Anything you like?
Yeah, I think we can latch on to one here. I think we both had the same opinion here. James McDonald jumps on Cascading, comes out of Epsom, where we saw Icebark coming out of that race and bolt in last start, of course, when we jumped up in the Invitational. But Cascading was brilliant in that race. Come from a long way back, recorded the third fastest, last 6, last 4, last 2. Without much luck late either. Had to sort of weave, duck, didn't get a straight line run. I like the tick, James McDonald, 1,600 metres. His horse is a different horse these last 2 preps. Very consistent. Around that $11 price, I'm going to trust the Epsom form. We see a lot of horses come out of that race Saturday. You see your Icebarks, obviously, last weekend, now goes down to Melbourne as well. You've got your Private Eyes. So I think that's good form. And $11, I know it has to carry big weight, which is the concern. But James McDonald, James Cummings, horses flying. I think it's a nice setup. Did you agree, Gano?
Bet of the weekend, mate. If you can still get hold of $11, get on. Not much more to add, Dan. I think you covered everything, mate. Move on to the Furphy. Now, just quietly, good on them for sponsoring a race, but average drop of beer. What are your thoughts there, Dino?
When's the great tip-off gonna salute with their own drop, Gano? That's surely got to be on the radar.
Yeah, I'll speak to the boys, see what we can arrange, mate. Absolutely. It tastes better than that garbage. Mate, Ballistic Lover, $5, was much bigger, around $11 earlier, into $5 favourite. Menage, $6. Brooklyn Hustle, $8. September Run, $8. Dirty Thoughts, 10s. Talk to me, Dino.
It's a good race, this. Ballistic Lover, we text before the show. We had a little chat about this horse, Ballistic Lover. Gano quoted me $11 around 3 o'clock this afternoon. I just jumped on just before the show to have a look at the odds, and it's been smashed into 450. Comes off a brilliant trial up in Sydney and ran very well in the Moya as well behind Wild Ruler. Straight line, fast horse, 1,100 metres suits, but I think the price is gone now. If you got the 11s, well done. You're on at a nice price. Minhaj comes out of the Nivison. I thought it was a brilliant win off some very, very smart trials. Back to the inside. Don't think that was the best ground that day. So I think that win had merit as well. Tricky Girl coming behind her. She had no luck on the weekend in the Invitational. I think she goes very close to winning that. So I think Minhaj is good form. Around that $6.50 price, I could definitely entertain that. I think she can start shorter than that off that first up win. And then another one at big odds here. I know a lot of people have a split opinion on this horse, September Run, but it's just a pure Flemington straight horse, 1,100 metres. It's not confirmed she's going to the Furby, but if I was training her, put my Chris Waller cap on here, 1100 meters, Flemington. I think she'll go very well there. She's been closing off from luckless positions, from spots in the run she can't win at your Mooney Valleys and your Caulfields. I think Flemington's her go. She's 3 from 5 at the track, straight line speed. I think she'll go super here around that $9. So I'm happy enough to have a 2 play here, September run around that $9 quote and Minhaj. How do you like them, Gunnar?
Yeah, happy to see a good ballistic live at $11. Not much to add. Obviously, missed the price, bad luck. Not the point of the show, obviously, but Dino steered you and a couple others. It'd be a good race. Nonetheless, mate, in regards to Minaj, I did have a question for you. 12,000 fair dinkum, 1,200 to 1,100. Thoughts?
Yeah, I had her penned down to go to the Invitational last week. So she has run well as a 3-year-old in the early days when she was with the Hayes camp down the Flemington Straight. I think she finished 3rd behind September Run and swats that in a race that hasn't come to my mind, but she has run well down there. I wasn't sure about that setup, but I'm going to trust O'Shea. I thought she would have got a slot or an invitation to the Invitational, but obviously not. That's the head scratcher. I'm not too sure, Gunnar. What do you see that?
Definitely for mine. Like I saw J Mac was on, and I was like, oh, that's fantastic. And then I dug deeper, and I was thinking, hang on a sec, what's doing here?
Yeah.
And the way it found the line last start, to me, looked like it wanted 1,200 or more. But look, I'm not trying to shade. Mate, we move on. Empire Rose, Tafane, $4. Mystic Journey, can't believe it's still racing, $5. Colette, $6. Ice Bath, big query there, $11. Mate, anything for us there, or is it a bit of a pass race for you?
It's a pass race for mine. I think Mystic Journey is probably a false favourite there. So if you like something in the race, you could definitely play, but nothing stood out for mine early. What about you?
Yeah, mate, I've had something each way on Amaralina at 15s. It's still 15s, 15s and 450 to play. So I think it's a great bet. Once again, J-Max on again, so he sticks. I would have thought that they might have been going for something a little bit longer. But the fact they stay at the 1,600, once again, you got to trust these guys. These guys are elite training partnership. They know what they're doing. J-Mac knows what he's saying. I'm sure he would have had a big say in where the horse was going next as well. Big, wide open Flemington have a chance to wind up. It is 3rd up, so it's going to be much fitter this time round. Just think that is a very, very good bet. And if you back that each way, can't see you doing your dough there. Thoughts on that one, Dino? You obviously saw it in Sydney.
Yeah, it's been going very well. I think the first up run and second up runs, flashing light runs, got too far back. And like you said, I think the fitness is the biggest tick there. She's looked like she's needed those 2 runs. She's found the line, but probably hasn't exploded like we want. But like you said, 1,600 meters, J-Mac, the stable flying, J-Mac's flying, big open straight where she can wind up and build through those gears. I think around that price, and Sydney form we know is the dominant form, so I don't think you can go wrong with that play.
I twist your arm there, mate. You're going to have a few bob each way on that now.
Well, you're flying at the minute, Gunno, so I might have to follow you in, mate.
Yes, mate. Couple of good weekends in a row. I'm ready to hit a brick wall. Mate, we head to Rose Hill. Rail is in the true position, I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong there, Dino. And we're going to have dry, warm conditions all week. And it has most certainly been like that today. Even though the temperatures were around 21, it was warm. It was warm enough, and I think we're going to have some pretty hot days coming in. Dino, for mine, it's going unless they irrigate it all week and give it 4 or 5 mils every day, we could get a absolute firm track here.
Yeah, it looks like that way. Like you said, I think Thursday, Friday up towards that 30-degree mark, especially out in Western Sydney and Rose Hill. So I think we're going to get a proper belter of a track. We might see some track records broken. It'll be firm as firm. And like you referenced that, when we get a firm deck, rail is in the true. I think it definitely plays to those on speed advantage. So I'll be looking for those horses that can settle first half of the field. Definitely, they'll be getting a big tick and a big push in front of those who are going to settle a lot further back in the run. So do monitor the track. Like you said, they're going to have to irrigate this probably every single day to get it to that good 4 range. I just hope they don't over irrigate it on, say, a Friday. But good track on speed. Rail's advantage is how I'm looking at it early.
unless they fall asleep and leave the sprinklers on all day Friday, I highly doubt it'll get to us at a good four, but we've seen it happen before. Mate, the Golden Eagles kick off with that I'm Thunderstruck coming up for Melbourne. Pen, $4.50. Private Eye, $6. Maximal, $8. Law of Indices, $11. And Apache Chase, $13. We'll throw a couple more at you here. Count of Rupee, $13. And Ellsberg, $17. Any of those tickle your fancy, Dino?
Yeah, I think the key to this race is going to be the speed map and where horses land. Like I said, you want to be in that first half of the field. Horses that jump out to me early, I'm trusting the Epsom form, trusting Private Eye. If you haven't had a chance, punters, go and look at his trial since his Epsom win. It was absolutely enormous. I know he's a fit horse up against some horses who haven't had a start this campaign, but it was something to see. This horse is phenomenal. We know the Pride Camp, they can get these horses to peak and then peak again. I think that's a key note too here. I think a lot might say, oh, he had a grand final run in the Epsom. How can he back up here? But we know the Pride Camp can get them to peak twice. And I think the other one here was desperately unlucky and might fly under the radar. He's Count de Rupee. I think he's come back a super horse. His win first up at Kembla was outstanding. Then he had no luck last start in the Silver Eagle where sadly Triple Ace broke down in front of him. He copped a nasty check, shifted about 5-6 horses wide, still picked up, ran to the line and just missed aim. So I think he wins that race quite easily without the bump. He's a horse who's adaptable too. He can sit closer in the run. He can sit back. He can judge the tempo. Loves a dry deck. And third up, I think he's peaking. So I'm keen to play both those top of the market. That's the question I have for you, Gano. Run us through what you're keen on. But then on the back of that, where's I'm Thunderstruck map? I had a look at his runs down in Melbourne and do concede his barriers have been drawn out, but he has been getting a long way back and flying home. I don't think he'll be able to do that at Rose Hill with the railing the true and dry. But run us through your runners first and then hit me with that question at the end.
Hey, I've got one play, really simple play. It's the Count de Rupee form, and it's Ellsberg. Got cleaned up at the same time as Count de Rupee got cleaned up and got back up. Probably not as affected as much, but was very, very strong to the line. I'm just hoping they took all the gear off, hoping those blinkers just get applied. That'd be amazing to see. And they just go handlebars down. See you later. Catch me if you can. And at 17s and 5 the place, they'll be getting some of mine. I can't argue with you, Count de Rupee. I have absolutely no interest in I'm Thunderstruck. I've got no interest in the form lines. I've got no interest in the Melbourne horse coming up here trying to get around Rose Hill like that. It'll be, for mine, next. Should not be favourite.
I think it's interesting to see what they do with the barrier as well. I just think in a highly run race, like the horses we mentioned, they're all going to be up on pace. You got Pouchy Chasers, so fascinating race. It's a cracking race. I can't wait.
Absolutely. And yeah, look, it's worth 7.5 million. So good on you for having a crack. And if it comes out and wins, good luck to you. Won't be the first. It might be the last time I'm absolutely flat out wrong. I was wrong 3 times today when I went 0 from 3. Mate, thank you very much for your time today. It's been amazing. But before we do wrap up, can you give us a couple of early plays if it's anything that we haven't covered or any of the best bets that you've covered so far?
Yeah, I'll throw a couple more in, Gano. The Classique Legend Stakes, 1,300 metres, named after the previous year's Everest winner. 2 at big odds here. First up, Dawn Passage. Tim Clark in the saddle was first up on the exact same day last year in the Golden Eagles, sat 3 wide, no cover on pace and ran a very game third. This horse has been trialling outstanding. He's one who's going to go forward. Timmy Clark in the saddle. We know the Bott and Waterhouse Camp get their horses fit, ready to go. He's around that $26 price. And another one in that race, Signore Fox, closed off on Everest Day in the Sydney Stakes down the outside. That wind played havoc. You couldn't make a run coming wide on that bend and sustaining that. You had to make your run inside horses. He was very game. He's flying at the trials. I gave him a big tick last start. I think a lot will miss him in the market purely because he was well backed and just didn't perform like he probably should have, but that win was a huge disadvantage. We saw that with a couple other horses. So around $26 for Dawn Passage and around that $21 quote for Signore Fox. I think they're the 2 fresh on the scene over 1,300 metres who could knock off those Everest contenders backing up. So there are a couple out wide, Gano, that I like.
Love it, mate. My best is definitely Cascadian, getting short now, but happy to go there. And in regards to just races going around on Saturday, Fangirl goes around in the carbine, $3, probably happy to wait there. Good horse, probably get the job done down there. Floating Artist, fair dinkum, come on, please. And Tio came out in fairness to him, as Salts chimes in and says he's driven 4.5 hours and to have a good hard think about it. And obviously down in grade, comes out the next day and rides a ripper on one of Waterhouse spot horses. But look, I actually hope they stick with him. Give him another crack. Have another go. I'll butter up. I'll go again. It's the best. It's going to be the best horse in that race, mate. Yeah, why not? Like, let's just go. Let's go. I'm sick for it. Let's just back up. But I'm no point taking $2.50 now. I'd rather see him line up because I don't think that price will change. And mate, another one just that you tipped us into, which I took a little bit of price. It was about $6.50. Daisies in the Wakeful. Anything on that? I know you've sort of bet around it or haven't bet around, or you just sort of let it go for now, waiting for barriers. But for mine, and I will do the same, I think, before I have a bigger play. But for mine, I think she's a good horse.
Yeah, she's a very good horse. Like you said, I think it's a competitive race. We're not getting the 11s now, getting around that $6 price. But like you said, I think we can wait till barriers and final fields for her this week. But she's very, very, very good off a tough run last start to make that mid-race move. But I'll definitely be following her in.
That's the thing for me. And I think there's a bit of talk on social media today about times and how one race was run quicker than the other, et cetera, et cetera. But the run that Daisy's had last start was quite incredible. I saw it in the run. I thought, Dino, nice one, mate. Gone, can't win, gone. And it's won like far. So good tip. I'm going to follow that in. You dropped off, so to probably win by 5. Love it, mate. Punters, please do us a favor, keep us going. As we said in the past, you are oxygen. If you continue to comment like the way you are on YouTube, Instagram and Twitter, please keep it up. We love it. We love the engagement. Give us your best bets. We just love it. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Jump on the Great Tip Off for all your tipping needs. Awesome resources on there. Not just from us, though, Dino, barrier attendants. Mate, tell the punters how they can get your gear as well.
Yeah, just to reiterate, punters, get on Twitter, get on YouTube, like, subscribe, comment. With more engagement, the better. More questions, fire them in for us. But for the barrier attendant, jump on the website, punters, use the code FREE50, get your first month free. Jump on your Twitter, like the page, like myself. And the more engagement, the better for us, Gunnar.
Love it, mate. Mate, another ripping episode. Thank you so much. We will be back Melbourne Cup Eve for no doubt our biggest edition yet. Can't wait. All the best, Dino. Thank you so much for your time. Punters, good luck. Have a cracking weekend ahead.
Cheers, Gunnar. Good luck, punters.